Hey, it's Jack. I am back. We're here for another round, and today I'm going to be trying to mess with Dancing with the Darkness. That was Alpha Oblivion we were just listening to, second song on the album, and I want to mess with the third song on the album. I've got my Logic session pulled up here, and let's take a look. Pull the volume back on this a little bit, and I will show you what I want to look at. Hope you're doing good, by the way. Thanks for joining. From the top here. So I like all this. This whole opening I really like a lot. You got really cool, these guitars happening here. Yeah, they're really cool. A little bit of piano to back up this string bell sound. I'm going to back it up a little bit because I'm going to show you the bass, what the bass is doing. And that's two bass tones. That's that up there. And then just this higher thing that's on top of it. And all together you get the main riff. And that main riff is paired by these clean guitars that are happening on the sides. So overall, fairly cool sound. We have a Linn drum happening. Yeah, so there's a Linn drum at the beginning. That's the main drum sound at first. Something I want to do with this, not today, but eventually, because I'm definitely gonna the next step for a lot of this is recording real drums. But one of the things I'm going to do is I do like the Linn drum in parts of this, and I think what I'm going to do with some of it is I'm going to re-amp the drums. I've been seeing some cool techniques where basically feeding those drum sounds out of like live speakers in the room, and then picking those back up in the room, whether I do it here or I do it in the garage, something like that. But that's something I definitely want to do. I can always put reverbs on it and stuff, but it's not the same as I was listening to a clip the other day where a guy did it. And he did his room sound first, and then he tried to replicate it using plugins, and he used some decent plugins. I think he was using the Abbey Road plate reverbs and some stuff like that. And what he did was it was sounding pretty good, but I kept thinking in the back of my head, I was like, I don't think this is as good as the room still. And then once he A/B'd it, I think he kid himself and thought that he was happy with the other stuff. But honestly, I think the room's his actual capture of the room added so much, not space. You can always add space with reverb. It was more depth and left and right dimension. I thought that his room sound that he picked up added way more spatial left and right as opposed to just depth of further back or more reverb, like I say, where it's less about the room. It's less about the mics being further back and more about the rooms capturing side reflections that are more close up. And then also the side reverb stuff that he picked up that was in his room had a lot more crispy top end to it. Maybe due to the mics he was using, I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to get some nice crispy top end. I was watching a video about Chappell Roan's Good Luck Babe and the drum sound there, and a similar thing where he was talking about all this basically the mic placement he did to really capture very big, not about big room sound, but just adding the spaciousness to it. So I think that's going to help a lot with some of these drums. But anyway, what I don't like about this song currently that I want to show is the chorus. So we have this verse.
Dancing under the black lights, wearing once in a lifetime dress, ring a slip from her fingertips. She could care less that no one's watching. It's not fair, but she's not missed a step. She's just dancing with her darkness.
Then we get in this next section that's going to give us a key change, and I won't say it, but yeah, the spirit key change section. minor. And we'll live here in C minor. What I don't like is what's next. So that whole section's in C minor, basically. It's using the relative major of the C minor, but I don't like this section. I feel like it loses momentum and energy. What I'm wondering is, I never come back in this song to the opening, and that opening is such a cool sound. I think, not this opening, but the. So what I'm going to do for a sec, and this is going to kill my loop here, but that's okay. I think we have to fix this loop anyway because this loop is already too extended. Yeah, this should be close to there, so that's okay. I'm going to take my loop section and I'm just going to loop this back into the heavier section. This goes all the way to 145. Where are we at? 153, 151. So I can go back and watch this later and see where that spot was, because we're about to lose this. So I'll bring this all the way to here before my chorus hits. Or I think that might be where the chorus hits.
Dancing with her darkness.
So we'll have this loop right back into the intro. Oh, sorry, not that part. My bad. We need this section here. So like maybe like this is a pre-chorus kind of, because we have the transitional section, we have the verses, then we have this transition section, then we have this part, and then we have the chorus. Rather than going the chorus, oh gosh, I just totally effed up my loop there. Really, buddy? Okay, then we bring this to here, and I think that should hopefully do it. Is that with the drum? Yes. So. And so what's not working right there is I'm leaning into the C minor. Oh, with the bass, with the boom, 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 boom. The guitar's going. That's kind of the, that's the. And at the end there it goes. And then the chorus. And that's the part I don't like. I had a melody for it and I'm not digging it, so I'm wondering if I can go. And then 3, 4. So basically utilizing the you could use C minor to C major to get to back to A minor basically. So that's the hope. So I need to figure out what's the easiest way to fix this without totally screwing up everything in my timeline here. And I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to save this as a new project. I wish I knew how to do revisions. Let's see what the bass is doing here. Oh, that's what it's doing. It's just using the C minor there. The bass part's cool there, but. Oh, yeah, it does a double stop. It just mimics the double stop to get the second part, which is pretty cool. I liked all the parts I wrote, but the momentum kills it for me there. Maybe a vocal part would make it work, but so what would be the boom dun 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 boom dun dun dun. Boom, dun, 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 dun. And then it's a boom, boom, boom. What's the C minor? Boom, dun, dun, boom, dun, 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 dun. I don't remember how to do the bass part there, but thinking. I like that better. We're using the G. Let me plug this in so I can actually hear it. That'd be nice. Another thing I'll mention now, but I'm hoping I can do a video on it tomorrow, is I'm kind of working out what am I going to use for the GrandKitten Live stuff this time around. The old Crestwood, I'm not 100% sure on for this next run of shows. It's kind of has some issues at the moment. And then I've been thinking about the look live and that kind of stuff, you know, stupid stuff that doesn't matter, but it matters to me. And I have some ideas. I might be losing the cat mask for this run of shows to try some new stuff, I think. And I thought maybe this would be the time for the Les Paul finally. Not that I'm going for a vintage retro look, but like the browns and the blacks. And then I went out to play it at a rehearsal with Mark the other day. Well, actually, before Mark came over, I was rehearsing on it by myself, and I just could not keep that thing in tune. And I just think that's going to be an ongoing problem. But for a video for tomorrow, this guitar stays in tune indefinitely. It's pretty amazing. And it's got light gauge acoustic strings. They kind of feel like they could be 10s, but they also feel like they could be 11s. And I've never actually tried 11 propers on guitars. So I bought a pack of Slinky 11s, but these are the coated ones, titanium reinforced. I don't know, we'll see. So I wanted to give these a shot on the Les Paul to see if that helps me not to go out of tune. I definitely play it a little bit harder, but what I liked, like when I was playing this guitar, because this guitar you have to dig in a lot more because the output's not very heavy, but also just these strings are just super tight. It's a lot harder to bend on, a lot harder to solo on, but because of that and having I don't know. I feel like I've got some pushback from the guitar that makes me play a little better or have to play better. Whereas the Les Paul, maybe I get a little lazy sometimes. But anyways, that's one thing. But then also I bought, I did get some of the Big Ben's nut sauce. So I'll definitely try out the Big Ben's nut sauce. But before I do the Big Ben's nut sauce, I had a crazy idea. You know, everyone says put graphite on the strings. So this is powder graphite lubricant. And this is like $5, whereas the nut sauce is like $15. So this should just be powdered graphite. If this can go in the nut slot of the Les Paul and do the same thing that the Big Ben's nut sauce did, that'd be pretty cool. It'd be funny to find out that this is actually just powdered graphite. I don't know if it has a... I'm doubting it has a... yeah, ingredients. A little luber. Stay tuned to eliminate information. Anyway, yeah, so Les Paul's been annoying. But that was my idea, was I was going to play Les Paul. But because there's so many songs in the album that are acoustic, I really wanted to, like, this album I was going to have to bring the acoustic out. Well, there was only really Cold Hands in the Maker on the last album, and that I just played it with the electric live, just with the clean patch, basically. But I really wanted to bring the acoustic out finally for this, just because these songs are, you know, legit acoustic songs. And so I've been working out a way to get the pickup back in here. So this is a lace sensor pickup, and it just has a cable attached to it. You can see there, coming right out the end, and it just goes to basically a jack. I have gaff tape on it right now, and then I just plug it into a cable. So this is a little janky because right now I just wrap it over the guitar. Usually I'm going to a little wireless unit. I'm not 100% sure yet if it'll be a wireless unit live yet or not, but I'm working on how to get, there's no volume control for it, so that kind of sucks a little bit. So I want to try to get a volume pot made for it. That might be something I try to attach up in here, basically. So I end up with a volume right there. Maybe I'll install it on the back because it's basically hollow back there, and it'll basically just I can write it with my finger right there, but getting inside. I do have volume control the acoustic side here. A little hard to get to live, but I play it a little higher, so it works out okay. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it's fine. But this guitar is just so light. Like, legitimately, this guitar is crazy light. I love playing it. And so this might end up becoming the main live guitar for everything. And maybe the Les Paul just doesn't actually come out and just stays a recording guitar. Mark doesn't like that idea, but I think this thing looks cool. And it definitely is unexpected. You wouldn't expect what I'm going to be doing with it. But beside the point for now, let's try and see if I can get... some guitar. Oh, so that's just the direct pickup, by the way. Yeah, so that's just the lace sensor by itself. I need to unroute that, so give me a sec. There we go. Okay, so then we'll come back into Logic, and let's take a look at where I can place this guitar-wise. So we've got lead guitar stuff here. That looks like that's my main intro riffs. 2 seconds. Where's my intro? Yeah, that's got to be it. Yeah. So let's just make another one of these real quick. It's already input 2. And we'll turn off low latency mode. Great. A lot of noise for sure, but bring that preamp gain down. Maybe a little more. And if we take a look at what this patch is, so going into my regular setup that I normally use, this is the brown face One day I'll probably actually own one of these and we'll start playing it live with an actual brown face. I like this retro 212 cab. Sometimes I use an orange 112. Just depends on the song, but that's looks like what I chose for this one. And then for my pedal board, what do I got going on? Yep, classic setup. So I'll turn these off so you can just hear the brown face by itself, basically. And you are hearing like the mic in the room, so if I turn the mic off. I can't play my own songs. Water, dome of protection in life. How could you betray us, falling on our faces? Perhaps what the old heretic said was right. Would it truly destroy us? Millions of lives of regret he had made. You cut down our forest to build this enormous. Oh man, I can't. What is that? There it is, yeah. Anyway, that's the guitar tone. So yeah, that's why I think this is going to become the live guitar. Like, it definitely isn't perfect. Maybe I'll mess with that pickup placement, maybe bring it a little forward so it's not quite as tangy. But a lot of the stuff, since I'm mostly playing leads, like this sound works out for that with the whole... It's probably a little more high than it needs to be. This is with the, if I go from the treble mode into just full mode. Take out the fuzz fade. Anyway, so the question is,
That no one's watching, it's not fair.
you know, I didn't think about, can this actually do my clean tone? So here's my clean tone here. This is coming from input 1. Let's change to input 2. Actually, let me just duplicate it so we can mess with it exclusively. And change this to input 2, because input 1 is my vocals right now. Okay, so I'm just cranking a compressor into high watt, basically. I think what I would do probably is I'd bring this gain up a little more. Maybe bring the bass up a little bit. And that compressor's killing everything. Yeah, maybe that's one place where like the other guitars do a little better. I'm not gonna be able to get that clean tone quite as thick as these are. Granted, yeah, it sounds way better. Why does it have so much reverb happening, but this one doesn't? Is that because is it a bus that's doing that? Yeah. Oh no. It is going through bus 8, yeah. Oh, I wonder if that's probably what it is. Let me right-click this, and we'll do. If I solo this, we should be able to hear that chroma verb and everything. The other day I was doing this fine. I was able to right-click on the bus. And oh, well, that's going to bus 8. What's interesting is it's not showing me bus 8, and it's also definitely not hitting bus 8. And I think that's just because there's a protection mode happening. If I send this to bus 8, then it'll be fine, but it don't matter. The biggest question is, does this work? And that I don't know. So can we do that part fine? Okay, that's the transition chord, right? So instead of going, dun, 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 dun. So we just use the G major to hop back off. Trying to think of where I can do this, because I think I have to change these cleans here. Nope, the cleans aren't happening there. Sorry, this is before that. It's after this section, right? No, it's here. Okay, so it's these clean guitars up here. I apologize. Okay. So what I want to try to do then to make this work, I'm going to kill these here. I'm going to kill this. Yeah, there we go. Those are back to normal. We're going to record here. Oh, no, not over my vocal mic though. I'm going to record over input 1. So we'll mute those up there. Let me do this. Mute these. Alright. Duplicate that. Except not on the vocal track. Input 2. I might just bring the input gain up a little bit, but okay. Then we gotta change the bass. I'm gonna do the top one more time just because I changed the input gain to give it a little more juice. Here we go. Done. Okay, let's see how that sounds. Let me grab the bass guitar real quick, and we'll do the bass move we were talking about as well. Play the jack. Alright. Alright, so for the bass parts, I'm going to duplicate this bass here just because I want to come back to this one. I'm going to call this bass. New. I don't know, I'm just going to bass new for now, it doesn't matter. So we'll fill out the section before the, or no, let's see, do we need that? And then I'm just gonna listen to the bass part real quick. I think I know how it goes, but just in case, and this is input 2. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So just checking my preamp stuff. Oh, that's why I'm on the wrong pickup. All right, let's listen up real quick. That's right. So it's down here on the, or gotta relearn this part. It's been a while since I played this. Let me bring the camera down just a tiny bit so you can see what I'm doing. Is that alright? That's alright. So and then is that really what I did? There's no way I was that high the whole time. And that's it there. So I was an octave lower. That makes more sense. Oh, but it stays there. Bam. Boom, boom. What is that? Bam. Do, do, do. Do, do. And then that's the rest part. So now we're gonna go swing it into that sounds kind of right to me now. So, okay, let's give this a shot with the new guitars in there. I'm going to unsolo this. I'm going to kill the old bass, and we'll do our best to replicate it. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to see if this new section works. So we're not doing the old chorus. We're just going to go back into the intro again. So somewhere in here. Start back a little further. Actually, let's just start from the beginning of this section because I know what we're doing here. Don't love it at all. I feel like my strings are worn out a little bit. I don't have nearly the highs that I had in the past. I wonder if I was running through the GHS before. Color box. Right now I'm just going direct in. I'm just going to bring up the volume a little bit so we can hear this a little better. Let's hit just this. I'll start again from the top, just because it's fun to play. That's where it's at. Okay. Also, what is this part doing up here for a second? There it is. Okay. There we go. Man, that slide up doesn't work as well as I was hoping. The G, or maybe I can't go here. I am hitting a G though. Maybe I gotta do a double stop. I'll try that. Also, I feel like I'm not in tune. Does that sound right to everybody else? Maybe that's what's messing with me so much. Easel, no, check. Yep, tiny bit. And yeah, it definitely doesn't sound as crispy as when I recorded the first time. It's been sitting on the wall for a little bit. I haven't recorded bass in, I don't know, probably a month or so. I don't think I really did much with the mids, and the treble's actually pretty hard, like almost all the way up really. I don't have much else I can do there. Yeah. I think that's the pop. Here we go. Okay, let me kill that synth up there because the synth is part of the old thing. That's the whole deal. So what it used to do was boom, 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 boom. And I'd use that major to jump out, to basically changing the C minor to a C major to get back to the A. But here we're just doing it earlier, basically, is kind of the idea. Well, okay, so then let me kill this. Control mute. And then what we'll do is we'll bring back in this. It's interesting because this drum's actually already here, which is kind of crazy. It's just, but it's definitely different. So let me duplicate this. This is gonna be dumb. I'm going to copy and paste my chorus drum here. I'm going to mute this one because we want to go back just in case. Okay, so that's the basic gist. Let us try this again. That's just not... What else is here? What else is... It's the bass guitar. It's the clean guitars, and it's the drums. That's all that's there. Oh, there's this piano. I think that's just mimicking the. That's just mimicking the. Oh, the piano does follow there. Okay. Well, let's just maybe we'll kill this piano for a sec, or maybe we'll just put it up. Where can I put this where it's gonna be out of the way? We'll put it down here. I'm gonna mute this one because it's the original, and then we'll reinforce that last chord. And then this needs to be a G now, basically. So we'll shuffle this chord up to a G. To with a C in the bass, maybe? Is that fine? That's a weird... I don't know if this is working at all. This might be a terrible session where we learned nothing. Oh well, that's... D. That's a D. That's weird to have that there. G to a D. Oh, what was this before? Was it a D? Okay. Really reinforcing the G there. It's probably too much. Okay, so then I think what I would do to make that hit hard and actually make sense is we would bring in, we would do this intro fill drum right here, basically. So I'm gonna, this happens on the half measure. Oh, right before the half measure. So this is tricky. 1, 2, before the half measure. So we copy this. I'm going to stay on this track here. I'm going to go to this new spot here. And I'm going to go to the half measure and then back 2, I think, and then paste that in. And nope, didn't get it. This is the half measure. Then we go 2 back and paste it in. That's better. And then we would... Cool, there it is. Okay, I don't think this is working, but we'll give it a shot. I'm gonna start the bass from right here. I don't know why I'm recording bass at this point. I have what I need, but let's give it a shot. Half step off, let's try again. That's the idea. I don't love it. Maybe once the guitar kicks in, it'll finally make sense. So let me try this one more time. We'll get this through. Let me just hear what my bass part for the intro sounds like real quick. So see there? Follow along. The last part though. Okay, got a basic idea there. Kill this, come back to this section, and from... Cool, we'll start right there, here we go. basically it. Just got to add in the heavier part now, but I flubbed up somewhere, but that's okay. Let me grab the electric guitar, and let's see if once we have the electric guitar in, does this finally make sense in terms of, I don't know, feeling right, feeling heavy, feeling cool. I really liked this part of the song, and I never come back to it. Like, the way that this got written, I had that one time that this intro happened. It's both cool and sort of lame at the same time. It's not lame, but it's just, I don't want to say typical. Typical is not the right word for it, but I don't know. I mean, that bass part's it's very typical, but okay. Electric guitar, here we go. And also we'll get a chance to see if this actually works, the doing this electric guitar.
Dancing with her dog.
Okay.
Dancing with
We'll start from here. Or, well, it doesn't matter.
our nest. She looks wonderful tonight.
So that's the gist. I don't know if I like it better than the original. Let's listen to it and
She looks wonderful tonight. Dancing under the black lights. Wearing a tattered all-white dress. Ring a slip from her fingertips. She could care less. No one's watching.
man, I don't know. Maybe. Totally flubbed it. Come on, man. Oh, I also need to turn the input gain back up. I forgot. We switch guitars, and this guitar is way low output. Let's go up to like here. Try again. Oh, then the clean guitars have to actually do the thing. Okay, so let's do it all the way through. We'll hit it from here. That's fine. It usually goes down, so the right normal way is dun 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 dun. But this time we're gonna go boom dun 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 dun. Oh, that's better. Boom dun 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 dun. Let's get back into it. One more time on this one, and then we'll do the next pass. Cool, and we'll do the next guitar for the stereo. Starting here would be fine. Here we go. Lost my place. Try again. Actually, I might take this one up. If I go, yeah, let's try that. Here we go. I'm not sure if that. Cool, there's that part, and then we can hit the solo section again for this part, and then add the bass in. I think we gotta add the bass entirely for Blonde Below, but we'll do this lead part first, because I think I know what happens here. Here we go, starting here, I think. She's just dancing fingers this time. Alright, oh, good, I don't know. Fingers not working. Fingers are too fumpy, but I think the pick's too harsh, so I'm gonna use basically my hand picks, like basically kind of my nails / skin. Give it a shot. She's just dancing with the darkness alone. I forgot this other guitar track down here takes over the next part. So this part is, that's all I needed for this. So I'm gonna roll this back to about here. So I just need this. Cool. But we do need to do these pieces again up here. So let's start from here. Cool, there's that part. And we'll do other track here. So the goal here was hopefully to figure out, does this work? So we'll actually use this chorus in this second half, but we won't actually ever hit this chorus until this later part. So the first time we actually avoid the chorus by just doing the opening riff again. So starting from the top, we have the intro section basically. Intro section starts off. It's very Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night / Dreams. It's kind of like if Dreams was written on Tango in the Night, maybe, was kind of my idea. So it starts off with that. Then we come to the end of that to get to the sorry, yeah, sorry. There we go.
She looks wonderful tonight, dancing under the
So now we need my bass part back down there, but that's kind of the idea there.
darkness.
Okay, here's a question for you. If you're watching and you're in Logic, I definitely recorded this bass track in time, but it definitely sounds like it's ahead of everything now. Like just a little bit. Kill this. So maybe what has to happen there for that to actually transition correctly is the vocals actually have to lead into that.
She looks right through you with the blank stare in her eyes, and you know the color won't be there when you run.
Something like that. So it's like a fake out chorus almost.
She looks wonderful tonight, dancing under the black lights, wearing a tattered all-white dress, ring a slip from her fingertips. She could care less. No one's watching. It's not fair. She's not missed this step. She's just dancing.
Let's throw the bass part in there. Hey, this right here. Starting from here. Yeah. There we go. Just fixing the preamp volume.
She looks wonderful tonight, dancing under the black lights, wearing a tattered all-white dress, ring a slip from her fingertips. She could care less. No one's watching. It's not fair. She's not missed this step. She's just dancing with the darkness.
So I think on the second chorus, the bass actually does a much cooler part that I originally wrote. I'll have to remember how to play it, but basically what it's doing is it's going back to the opening, which I think is really cool. It's a way to bring back this it's kind of calling back to that really first part there, but we're in a different key now. So I think in the beginning it's an A minor. Now it's a C minor. Now we're in C minor when we transition to this part. So, so does it? That might be it. And then I think it's back to. Bam, 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 bam. Oh. And then, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. I think that's what we're doing there. Which is, I think that's the part, the fun part. Okay. I try to write like fun parts, so whenever like the musicians who will play with me live actually have like fun parts to play. How many times do you guys like go into a you get a gig, you know, and it's a good paying gig, but like everything just is not fun to play? Like, is that fun that like everything's easy, or does it make it like less fun that it's not easy? To me, it's like if I want to be challenged, and so I'm trying to write parts that like, you know, musicians would actually be challenged by and have fun playing together, because it's like both hard to play but also like feels good to play because it's got this cohesion to it. Which, to be fair, I feel like someone said something to me recently, or not to me directly, but it was like I heard in a roundabout way something about like this idea, you know. No good art is made in seclusion, and that's definitely not true, because that's how a lot of people do it. First of all, that you can't write, you know, you can't write perfection. There has to be some sort of chaos and whatever. And I just don't know if that's actually the case. Like, at the end of the day, when I take it to the musicians, I want them to interpret it their way. But you know, hopefully, I've written it well enough that the intention is clearly there. And then if you want to take it to a higher level, take it to a higher level. But understanding the intention is important, and I think that I've made the intention clear with the parts. But when I look at like when you look at Left Overture, when Kansas was writing that album, if you listen to the documentary, Kerry Livgren was like writing all that stuff. Like, everything was composed by Kerry Livgren on his own the night before they'd go in. He'd come in with a bunch of sheet music and the dang lyrics, give it to the guys, they'd jam it out, and then boom, that's it. Carry My Wayward Son was written that way. All of like Miracles Out of Nowhere, all that stuff. It's all Kerry Livgren for the most part. That guy's a genius composer, and that's what he is. He's a legit composer. That's sort of how I feel with this. I just don't actually have, you know, the other guys to jam the parts out the next day. But it is what it is. Not to say that I'm writing anything near Kerry Livgren's league, but you know, that's the attempt. All right, where are we at? This is where we're at here. I need to hear what the bass part does there. What in the F is that? Oh, that's cool, actually. There's no way that's happening. Not so loud. Manzi. Mute. Thank you.
Just dancing with the darkness.
Is it? Oh, it's, yeah, it's A. It's A flat. Is it a G? Oh, it is. That's cool. It's always just fun to play.
Just dancing with the darkness.
almost remembered all of that section. I'm telling you, it's fun to play. If you can gallop. My galloping's not the best. This is where I just go to pick. All right, that's close enough. Let me go back and listen to, now that my ears have been refreshed and I've kind of played the parts again, I'm going to go back and just hear the one section that we were actually trying to fix and see if that works, and then I'm going to call it for tonight. Or we'll just go from the top. If I go from the top, then we'll have a much better idea. So here's from the top, and I'll play the bass along with it, the parts I'm missing. Everything sounds rushed. Fix that part real quick. Where's that's it. Start from here, I think. Yeah, that's the top of it. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? We'll start from here, it's fine. Okay, so I'm not listening to it as much, but so now this second back half where we actually sort of maybe have a chorus, and again, I don't know if I love the melody, but at least the melody's only happening once because I don't love the melody, then cool, the melody can only happen once, and then we take off into this whole like space section, which leads into the end solo basically. So it's a weird song because basically you have an intro, basically have an intro, then you have an actual intro, then you have a verse and a pre-chorus, and then an intro, and then a verse, a pre-chorus, and then a chorus, and then an outro. The only thing I think I'd change probably at this point still is I still think the second verse doesn't need to be two halves. I think it can be condensed to one half to shorten things up a little bit right now, to a little bit. Because right now, if we keep it the way it is, and I look at beats and time, you can see we're at 4 minutes, well, not quite 4 minutes and 16. The song doesn't start until 14 seconds in, so subtract 14 seconds, but that's that, so where's it? So 4.5. So it's 4.5 minus 14. So it's like 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So that's actually pretty decent for a GrandKitten song. I've been really trying to get to a place where maybe one day I'd finally not be having, 5-6 minute songs all the time. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there for now, and maybe that works. Maybe that doesn't work. I don't know. But I think it's a good start. I think it's at least a good start towards trying to figure out how to make this song work. Or maybe I'm crazy, and maybe we go back to the original version where I do have that chorus, and maybe the other answer to this problem is finally just writing a vocal that fits there, that makes the part work. A lot of times that's what happens. So right now, but yeah, in rehearsals, this song just has not worked once we got to that middle chorus. Like this part's cool, but then after this part, when it went major, it felt far too, I don't want to say lame, but it just, So going back into this part, I think makes a lot more sense because that's the coolest part of the song to me, but it still feels a little bit jolting, so maybe that's got to shift a little bit. I don't know, maybe we don't do the key change right away. Maybe I figure out a way to do that little section without actually doing the key change. I'm gonna keep it that key, and then I save the key change for the final chorus. I don't know, but anyway, that's a good attempt for tonight. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining, I appreciate you being here as always. And oh yeah, tomorrow, hopefully, Big Ben's Nut Sauce on the Les Paul to make that thing stay in tune, hopefully. So maybe we can play that live or powdered graphite. So we'll see. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.